Hello and welcome, Annie Collins, design team member for Simply Stamps. Today we'll be creating a scene card using Simply Stamps pineapple stamp and their summer fun sentiment stamp. I'll be stamping these two images various times on Bristol Smooth cardstock because I'll be watercoloring them with distress markers in a little bit. First, I want to ink up my stamp, and I'm going to make sure I have a nice even coverage of ink across my stamp so that when I press it onto my cardstock, I get a nice crisp image. This is important being that we're going to watercolor it. So I'm going to do this pineapple not 3 times. I'll need these to be little characters, you'll see in a bit, for my card. Now the same thing, even coverage of ink. Press firmly, not too hard, just firm enough to get that crisp image. Now these stamps are from Simply Stamps, like I said, and you can find them on their website in their craft stamp section. They have high quality self-inking stamps and various other stamps. I'll put the link below so you can get to their website. Now, I'm going to be watercoloring with distress markers. I'm going to smear them onto like a palette. Well, actually, my palette is the cleaning of my, for my stamp, it's the stamp cleaner case. I use that. I don't use it to clean my stamps. I use it as my painting watercolor palette. I'm going to use that distress markers again, like I said. I'm going to use about 2 colors for the bottom of the pineapple, 2 shades of yellow and 2 shades of green for the tops of the pineapple. Now for the sentiment, I'm going to use peacock feathers, but I'm only going to use 1 color because it's a small image. I'm not going to show you me painting, watercoloring all of them, just quickly run through because no one wants to sit here and watch me watercolor. While I enjoy it, watching it, not so much. So here I go. I just do a nice light color. I like to use a small brush. I have like a number 1 watercolor brush here. Simple, inexpensive, Artist Loft, not a big buck, does the job. The Bristol Smooth makes it easy, smooth good cardstock. Here I'm showing you pineapples are done, working on that phrase. And then I'm going to set that aside to dry. I'm going to clear everything off and I'm going to pull out first let me show you. I made these cute little accent things that I'm going to use for my card. I did some sunglasses and then I stamped from other stamps that I have in my stash. Now these, I'm going to put some deco foil on. You need to put the deco foil and leave it for, it says about 1 to 2 hours. I left mine overnight just to be sure. Grab a small piece of foil. I'm going to press this into this, which is going to leave foiled sunglasses. Going to be so awesome. All you have to do is rub it. Now, I know this is going really fast, but that's it. Here it is up close. See, it gives you those mirrored sunglasses. Amazing. And then if you have a little spot, just go right over it. These are other components I created. As you can see, I'm going to make a nice summer fun beach theme scene card. So now another piece of Bristol Smooth. This is where I'm going to use some distress oxides to create my sand, ocean, and sky for our scene. Just gonna rub it on with the distress tool here, and I'm gonna just slowly, but before I do, I'm gathering everything, I'm gonna do everything on a white piece of paper. Why? Not just plain old copy paper. Why, you think? Well, I don't want to put my fingers in this. Bristol Smooth, while it blends the ink beautifully, if you touch it, it's going to leave your finger marks. Now, no one wants to get a card with finger marks on it. I know I don't. So just blend it out. It blends beautifully. They go from 1 color. This is the sand. That's the amber. And now I'm gonna put a little cracked pistachio. That's gonna be my water, blending it straight into the amber color here, so that we can get that water onto the sand look that you get at the ocean, by the beach, I should say, at the ocean. And then here's some blue right on top. It's just beautifully blending it in, and it's nice and smooth. You just want to keep going until there's no little lines or tool marks on there. Well, dauber marks. And then I'm going to put a little faded jeans just to darken the edge, because the sky always has two tones. It's never, nothing is ever just one color. See, everything's smooth. Now, since I'm bit this on Bristol Smooth, you got to set it aside to dry, because it, like I said, it takes a little longer. Here I'm going to use this embossing folder from my stash. I'm going to put some Distress Oxide Amber on it. I'm going to do this and run it through my die cut machine. I'll show you that in a bit. First, I want to let you know that I did fussy cut these pineapples. I'm not going to let you watch me do that, because that's quite boring. But I did fussy cut these pineapples and the phrase sentiment that we stamped earlier, now that the elements are dry. Here it is, a little close up so you can see the tones that we have here, lighter and darker, to create that nice shading so it looks more dimensional. Here I'm going to show that I created some other things for our card. All right, so here's what I was telling you before. This is the embossing folder that I have for my stash. It's a pineapple design, and I rubbed some Distress Oxide on there, some amber, ran it through the Cuttlebug. When I pulled it out, I rubbed some Color Box brown ink right on top, and it gives you this beautiful, almost sand textured look. And I'm going to use that to build for my sand, to give that thing. Here, this is one thing I like to do. I like to do a dry fit, or dry run, you should say, of all my elements. So the palm tree element and some other of these little components that I have for my card are not sold by Simply Stamps. They're from my stash, like this chair and stuff. But I just wanted to complete the scene. So here you're getting an idea of what our scene's going to look like. I want to make sure everything fits. If I need more components, if it's all going to look how I want it to look. Now I'm going to run some tear tape on the back of this. Yep, I couldn't get it going. I'm telling you, that stuff is sticky. It works great, but it's hard to get going. Put it down and I tear it. I'm going to do this in layers. I want something's further back, something's closer, so it looks really dimensional. Tucking things behind, put a little glue, flip the edges, whatever it takes to make this look really dimensional. Little pop dots, little foam adhesive in the back, just to keep it going. Just right here, throwing a little glue on the back of this chair. Now I'm going to put everything down that I need on the mid layer. So the back layer has the palm tree, then the sand textured paper. Now the chair. Again, more foam adhesive for my umbrella, so it looks like it's raising up, so we cast a shadow on our background. Layering up the next part of our sand, and now I'm going to gently tuck in the surfboards. Okay, I got a little more sticky than I pressed a little harder than I was hoping. I had to peel it up. No worries. Put it in there, and there's going to be some overhang. We're going to cut that off. It'll look perfect when we're done. So here we go. Well, perfect. It's going to create a nice scene. Tuck this larger surfboard, and now our other little pineapple people, because they're pineapple people now. And here's the mom, and she needs to have a nice cool seat under that umbrella with her shaded area. And I twirl up the little ends of the pineapple crown, so that it looks like their hair is like, up beach breathy or beach hair. We all know how that is. Okay, so here I go layering again. Now I want the pineapples to be on the closest to me, so everything, see, now it's creating a nice layer, so it looks truly like a scene. And that touch of green gives us that ocean background. I'm using some quick dry adhesive, which is Scotch dry adhesive, which now is Scotch tacky, and I pick it in my fine liner. Here I'm going to use that just a little bit. You don't need a lot because you don't want it oozing everywhere. For our glasses, for the mom, she's got her lovey-dovey eyes. And her cool dad's going to get his mirrored shades, because all dads love those mirrored shades. I don't know why, but they do. And just a little more adhesive. Now, the paper is textured, so it's your dry runner, regular runner may not hold it as well, so you're going to need a little extra. Some silly wiggly eyes for Junior here. And you just shake them just how it is. I got a little extra, clean it up. Nothing, no big deal. Now our sentiment, I separated our words. I cut them apart and then leave it as one. And I'm gonna place it. And I'm using my tweezers because it makes it a little easier to get through the area because of all these little pieces. My fingers don't quite, and I don't want to push on anything and knock it off. Now remember my dry run, I had it going across. Now with the umbrella properly placed, a little lower, which gives it a nice flow, I think. Everybody needs that flamingo inner tube to keep you flamingo floaty, as most people would know. It's so cute. And I made sure I put some glossy accents on it so it looked like a rubber. Now Mom needs her drink. I don't know about anybody else, but Mom needs a nice cool drink. And now I have my scene. As you can see, there's a little extra hanging pieces. We're going to cut those off. Oh, I just realized I forgot my, what is this? Oh, seagull. Goodness, I can't remember what that bird was called. Seagull. And I want to fill it in that little corner. So I forgot to cut them out. So I was like, hey, I'm missing something. That's what I was pointing at. Yep, a few gaps. Just if you have a few gaps, just fill it in with some, glue. Tuck it all down. Here we are, cutting off the extras. I'm not gonna cut my palm trees, fronds. I'm just gonna push them up to give it that textured look. I don't want to cut it off and it looks squared. It looks kind of weird. You can get away with that with the umbrella because it looks like it's going off the scene, but I didn't want to do that. So here I put glue on my card base rather than my card front. And I'm trying to line it up. And I'm sorry I'm off screen, but this lining up thing was not working for me. As you can see, it's not quite there. But I eventually take it off and reset it. I just didn't want to keep doing it over and over here. I don't know what's going on. I just couldn't get it to line up all the way. So here we go. Here's our finished scene, other than me straightening out my card. Again, these are stamps by Simply Stamps. You can find them in their craft section. I'm going to put the link below. They have wonderful, high-quality stamps. They also have a selection of inks, pigment, and archival. You can create these wonderful cards and scenes like this with Simply Stamps. Thank you so much for coming today and joining me.